Thank you so much for joining the collective this evening. This is an exclusive because it is Black Music Month. And
Yeah.
so, for those who have joined the collective page, all 78 of you, thank you very much. And my treat is to bring you an up and coming local artist out of Springfield, correct?
Yes. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Springfield, Massachusetts. Ksam, thank you
Yes.
so much for being here. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you for having me. Really, thank you for having me. I'm doing excellent.
And as we can tell, and in case you can't tell, I know because I've been doing this a long time. You are in a studio.
Yes, I am. I'm
So,
in the studio right now as we speak, working.
how
Yes, I am.
long have you been in the studio today?
Today, since about I want to say 10 o'clock this morning.
And when you leaving?
What time is it? I can say a time. But I know my wife will be calling me and say, "You okay?" And I'll be like, "What time is it?" She'll be like, "It's going on 1:30." I'm like, "Oh, my bad. I'm sorry."
Yeah, yeah.
So, my son will be like, "Daddy, I want you." My 4-year-old, he'd be like, "I want you." I'm like, "Okay, all right, it's time to go home. It's time to go home."
So, let me ask the personal question straight off the cuff.
Yes.
How can you do the music and at the same time your personal life? Because you spend a lot of time in the studio. On
Yes.
average, do you spend a day, 2 days in the studio? And then I'm assuming that you're either running a studio as your job or whether you're, you know, doing some
Well,
other kind of work that will pay the bills.
this is it. I have a label. We have a record label, and this is what I run: the record label, the radio station. We have Spirit Life Entertainment radio station and clothing line, and quite a number of other things that that we do. So it's an everyday thing. It's an everyday process. And then also we have 12, 13 artists up under the label. So
So talk a little
between
bit about that because running a record label is a huge challenge. I
yes,
just
it is.
had about 2 weeks ago, and I'm getting ready to have him back. A friend of mine, Andrew Ramdani, who used to be
Mm,
the A&R vice president of A&R for Uptown Records, and he
hmm
started out with Rush Entertainment
Oh,
and left Rush with Andre Harrell and
mm,
formed Uptown.
mm,
And so he had all these marvelous stories.
hmm
But I met him when he was on the road.
mm.
And, back then there were no cell phones. It was daggone near smoke signals.
Yes, really. You hit
you
it dead
know?
on the head. You hit it
And
right
yeah,
on the
and
head.
and so now it's a different ball game,
Yeah,
but it's still some of the things are still the same. How you bring
yeah.
artists to the table,
Right, right, right,
production,
right, right.
management,
Mm-hmm.
and on top of
Mm-hmm.
that, you're running a radio station. So talk a
Mm-hmm.
little bit about your day and what you do and how it works, what it looks like.
Well, taking care of my children, number one, when I get up in the morning, with my wife, getting them ready for
How many
school.
children?
6 and 2 granddaughters. My oldest two are grown, and I have three in the house. I lost one of my sons. So we have three in the house. We have a 12-year-old, 11-year-old, and a 4-year-old.
Okay.
So getting them prepared for school and then coming here and do some work or also doing some deliveries with newspapers of a friend of mine, so then coming here and doing some work and then having meetings, dealing with the artists and then loading up shows for the following week or the following day from the DJs for the radio station. So to me, honestly, I love it. I love it. I really do. It's a busy day. Sometimes, I have to stay at the house, due to, um, my wife might not feel good, or one of
Mm-hmm.
my children might not feel good, or anything that pops up, it's just by the grace of God, I'm able to stay home to do that, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't trade nothing in the world for this. I really wouldn't. I mean,
Are
why
you
would I?
bit by the music bug?
I've been bit since 19 what? Woo! I've been doing music since 1984, but I've been
Wow.
attracted to music for all my life.
So
So
talk. You grew up in Tampa,
Tampa, Florida,
and how old were you when you knew that this was what you wanted to do?
8 years old? No, probably younger than that. Probably younger than that.
Did
Probably
you
younger than that.
sing or rap in front of a crowd? And
I would dance in front of crowds. I would do the
okay.
Michael Jackson. I would do actually the Michael Jackson. Yeah,
Ah.
I had the jacket. I was in a breakdancing crew. Okay,
Uh-huh.
called the Rocksteady Crew too. You know,
Okay.
and I was the youngest one out the bunch. And I used to do my little breakdance thing. But when they saw me do the Michael Jackson, you know, Mike was big. He was just coming out at that time,
Yeah.
and he was
Yeah.
big. And I used to get in the middle of maybe two lines, and
You
I
had the
get in the
glove.
middle. Yeah,
You
oh
had the
yeah, I
glove.
had the glove. I had the glove. I had the jacket. I had the penny loafers with the penny in it.
Yeah. And the
You
white
know.
socks.
Oh yeah, with the white socks with the little fake glitter on it. Yeah, I had that on it too. But the only thing I didn't have, my mama wouldn't let me get. She wouldn't let me get the Jerry curl. She wouldn't let me do it. But I remember one time, we been at a Tampa Bay Buccaneers game at the old stadium, and they called somebody to come up and dance, and they put it on the jumbotron, and they called me.
Wow.
They called me, and
Wow.
I went up and I was doing a Michael Jackson in front of everybody, and just dancing in front of everybody. I got back
And
there. My
that's when
mama
you
said,
knew.
"Boy, I already knew, but
Well, how
I'm
did it
like,
make you feel? Did you feel like Michael
I felt
Jackson? Did you feel
it's
like
just
this is
like,
something I want to do?
yeah,
Or
yeah, it's just something you want. I was addicted to sports first of all.
okay.
Okay, I was an athlete first. That was
What
my
did you
love:
play?
football, basketball, track, uh, soccer. Only thing I didn't play it was baseball.
Okay.
That's what I didn't play because I ain't want nothing fast coming at my head like that. But but
I'm
my mama
sorry.
say,
I'm
my mama
sorry.
say, you ain't want nothing fast coming at your head, but you want to go hit somebody with your head. How you feel about that? So
It's kind of the same thing, just a little
kind of the
different
same thing,
direction,
just a little
right?
different. Yeah, but my first love was sports, but I always loved music. So I remember the first time I was, doing recording was in 1984, 84, 85. It was. So I knew off top. So as I went through playing sports throughout school, I was always doing music. But when I
Mm-hmm.
got in high school, I was in a different neighborhood. Nobody really knew I did music.
Okay.
Nobody knew. Nobody really found out I did music after high school. You know what I'm saying? But the
Well,
people in
that
my
was that
old
because the
neighborhood
focus was the
was
focus
on
on sports.
sports. Yeah, focus on sports, and when sports didn't work out and I was in college and I wanted to transfer from Miles College to go to Florida A&M, I got in trouble with the law, you know, and that took a turn. I went to prison, you know.
How old were you?
Oh man, early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
I was in my early 20s. I want to say about 22, 21, 22. Early
And what
20s.
and what made you decide you were not going back?
To prison,
Yes.
that was the first time.
Yeah.
I went twice,
Yeah.
you know.
And after the second time.
The second time, it was my choice to go the second time.
Hmm.
See, so I didn't want to be on probation anymore.
Okay.
because I was older and I was like, you know what? Once I'm done with y'all now, I'm done with y'all. Plus, I was already into my music,
Okay.
heavily because sports had already taken the back seat. It was like, okay, I'm done with that, So at that time, after the second time I came out, I mean, I went in, before I went in, I told my attorney, I said, listen, I'm ready to go up to prison. I'm ready to get off of probation. I'm done. And he looked at me, he was like, are you serious? I'm like, yes, I'm serious. So when the judge asked me, they said, you can get on reinstated. I said, no, I don't want to be reinstated. Give me my time. Let me go do it so I can come home and I ain't got to see y'all no more. Because I
Mm.
already knew where I was at musically and in my life. I wasn't going to see y'all no more. I'm done. And I haven't
So
seen them
music made
since.
made that difference for you.
Music, my children, just life experiences, you
Hmm.
know. No, as you get older, you mature a lot more than what you already are. Not
Right.
saying you're not mature when you're younger, you just at a different maturity of
Right.
stage.
Right.
But I'm tired. I'm tired of you telling me what I can and can't do and being locked up. I was done with it, and I already knew God gave me a gift. When you become a fan of your own music, of what you write, and you get excited about the outcome of what it's gonna be like, when you start doing that, God telling you something, you
Yeah.
better listen. And
Yeah.
that's what I did. You know what I mean? It took me a minute to listen, and it took a minute to get there, but I knew it was something coming. It was something coming because you just don't go through the things that I went through, for not something to come. And I still
Yeah.
have this ambition to do God's work after losing my son. After losing my son, I still got the ambition to do his work. You know, mm-mm.
That was
I just want to
grace.
do him. Yeah, that was all grace. All grace. Oh, it's a story to tell. It's a long story to tell. Like I tell a lot of people, listen, you have a dream, don't give up on it. You're gonna have to
Hmm.
go through something for you to be able to appreciate what he's gonna give you. Don't give up on it. I love what I do. I might be tired at night. I'm tired now, but I love what I do.
And
you know.
that's key. I mean, passion and a gift, you have to
hmm
recognize what you have a passion for, and you have
Yeah,
to recognize what your gift is and then use it. A lot
exactly.
of people don't never get it.
No.
They're gifted, they don't use it, they don't see it. They have other people discourage them from it. They never
hmm
get to use the gift.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
if you
Exactly.
recognize it,
Use
use
it.
it.
Use it before he
Use
give it to
it.
somebody else and you take it from
Or
you.
as I found this week, I was listening to um a pastor out of Indiana. His name is
hmm
Pastor YPJ.
Okay.
And young guy, has been in the music business,
hmm
but preaches from a long line of preachers. And one of the things he said was, people can tell you, excuse me,
hmm
oh yeah, you're fantastic at playing the drums. You really should be a drummer.
hmm
And he said, no, that's a limitation,
hmm
for the simple fact that God's endowed you for this. It
hmm
doesn't necessarily
hmm
mean that he wants you to be a drummer. It
That's right.
may be that you're the person that creates that next fantastic drum set, sets
hmm
up a company, and pushes it to drummers.
Right.
You know,
right.
so don't ever let anybody tell you what your limitation might be. They may recognize your talent, but God's given it to you to step a little further.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Because I tell you like this. When I decided to do gospel music, a friend of mine came to me and said, you can't go back, right? I said, what you mean? He said, you can't go back and do secular music, right? I said, I have no intentions to. I have no intentions to. I said, what God put in front of me, you have no idea how I feel. And ain't nobody gonna steer me a different way from doing that. Because, like I told him before, and I told him this early, I said, my salvation has nothing to do with yours, but I tell you, my salvation is very strong. And ain't nobody gonna stop me from doing that. Because y'all ain't finna get me in trouble with heaven. Y'all ain't finna get me in trouble with my daddy. I'm sorry. That ain't happening.
Well, when did you make the turn? When did you make the turn from secular music to gospel music?
I don't remember exact year, but I remember the exact time. I was in the county jail. Yeah, it starts out with the jail. But I was in the county jail. I got a friend of mine, JT. He's my brother. He said it started before then, because before I went to the county jail at this particular time, I did a song called My Testimony, but I was doing secular music at that time. And I did a song called My Testimony.
Which in your bio says that, you know, somebody said to you, man, you got a story to tell.
Yes.
You need to put it on paper.
Right. Exactly. And that was my testimony. And I went to jail after that. And I was facing some years. You know, I was facing some time. You know, I know I didn't do it. But knowing how the system is, I said, I know I got to do something, because knowing how the system is. Well, during that time I was in there, I made a transformation. I didn't feel right doing secular music, because I was starting to hear it while I was in there, the radio in my ears, and I didn't want to hear it. I wanted to hear something different. And then I turned on this one station, I heard gospel music. Then I heard gospel hip hop. But it wasn't that big at that time.
Right.
And I'm like, ooh, that sounds good. All of a sudden, I started writing to what I was hearing, studying a lot more, studying his word. It was like he was sending books to me from people that I didn't know that was in that same area in the county jail. You know, I started getting the concordance and learning how to read that, and going from that into the Quran, into the Bible, you know, and I'm reading all of this, studying all of this. And then I started writing songs. And I remember I had a dream, and the OJs was in this dream, but they were singing a song called I Got Jesus. And I called my partner, JT, and told him, I said, listen, man, I don't want to do secular music anymore. He said, I already knew that. Because he's a PK. He's a PK, and he was producing my music.
Tell people what PK stands for.
Preacher's Kid.
Okay.
I'm sorry. If y'all didn't know, PK stands for Preacher's Kid. But he said, I already knew this. He said, because before you went in, you did a song called My Testimony. He said, I've been listening to that song while you've been in there. So when I came out, because before I went in, it was people waiting for this particular song that I did on a secular level. DJs, record pool, they was all waiting for this. But I didn't want to do it no more. My manager got upset with me. A lot of people got upset with me. I wanted to do God's music. And God got me out of there. When I went to court, I had a public defender. My mom and a lot of people was trying to get these attorneys, and when they was going to these attorneys and they was finding out who my public defender was, they was telling my mom, look, he has the best public defender in the state. Now all the chances I get the best public defender out of the state. With all of this I'm facing, I goes to court, being in there this whole time, 6 months. When I went to court, she came to me, she said, how about time served?
And you said,
where do I sign? I'm ready to go. And I was like, it ain't nobody but God. Nobody. When I came home, okay, I went straight to the studio and recorded I Got Jesus. And the record deal was, presented to me for $1.5 million for my gospel music because I recorded songs since I had been home.
Mm-hmm.
And the record label came to me with $1.5 million for 3 albums.
And you said,
where do I sign? So I signed the contract. It didn't work out. It didn't go through, not on my end, but on their end. I won't mention the label at all. But that goes to show you what God was saying. All this time, your music has been in front of big name people. You have been a featured artist at the Apollo. You have done this, you have done that, perform here, perform that, perform there. And you did not get close to a deal. You started doing my music, and a record label was appointed you $1.5 million for doing my music. Even though it didn't work out, wait till I do more if you continue to be faithful to me. And that's what happened.
And you've been gospel ever since.
Ever since.
So how do you, as a spiritual person, how do you approach music? Because there's got to be something there that speaks to your spirit, right? And if it doesn't speak to your spirit, or do you work in tandem, collaborations, or, is it something that hits you in the middle of the night? All of those things,
All of that.
or better yet, when you hear an artist, what strikes you as somebody who's a producer? What strikes you about that artist? Does it speak to your spirit? Does it?
Well, number one, I listen to him and what he's saying in his delivery. Because if you putting feeling behind it, I want to hear feeling. Because you have to have, when you speak in God's words, you have to have feeling. You can't, to me, you can't speak his word without feeling. Give me some feeling. If you have, I can hear it off top. Soon as it can be a up tempo track, it can be a slow track. It doesn't matter. You can feel, you can hear that feeling or feel it when they speaking. You know what I mean? If I don't hear that, I turn it off. I turn it off. Even in a track, if I'm working on a song or I'm listening to a track, 9 times out of a 10, I mean 9 times out of a 10, listen, I sound like my auntie. I do.
We like your auntie.
I love my auntie. I got a bunch of them. But 9 times out of 10, a track will tell you what to say. Especially if you already have, like, long time ago, I had a friend of mine. He was a friend of mine. He is a friend of mine. He said to me, he said, man, how you always know what to say on the track or in a hook or something? I said, because if you constantly have it on your mind and on your heart, you already know what to say. The track,
the flow is there.
It's already there. The words is already there. And for as the track is concerned, the music concerned, if you already have the words and you already know it there, the delivery in the track is gonna make you deliver it the way it's supposed to be delivered. Now you collaborate on other people because I like doing that. I like collaborating, especially with other producers. Like the one I do, Herb Batiste, he mixes all my music, and I'm telling you, I love him. And I just like collabing with him because his mind, it's like he studies every single thing, And I look at him sometimes like, how do you hear that? So and it's beautiful because you need different ears.
You play off each other, so you must have some of that as well.
Well, yeah, people say the same thing to me, But that's the beautiful thing about collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially when you're doing it with people who serious about their craft.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the key part. People don't look at it as a craft. People look at it as some people look at it as a hobby, and that's the way it
Yeah.
comes out.
Yeah.
If they do it as a craft and as with some feeling in it, it becomes your craft. That's what you do. That's what you hold. You take hold of that, man.
And that's your passion.
That's your passion. That's you. That's you making God proud to me. You ain't saying everybody has to do gospel music. No, that's not it. Because you're gonna get some people that need to hear a message that God gonna speak to that don't do gospel music.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you still need to have that passion. You still need to have that feeling in that song. And if I don't hear it, I turn it off.
That's it. All right, we're gonna break here because I'm a minute
Yes, ma'am.
over and Doc's gonna kill me.
I'm sorry.
So
I'm sorry.
it's okay.
Doc, I'm
It's a
sorry,
good
Doc.
thing. This is the collective on WSME DB, Enlightenment Radio. Positivity is everything. I am with Ksam, who has new music out, and he has a listening party this Saturday in Springfield. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, as well as what's playing on WSME. I'm Michelle Turner, and this is The Collective. Back for Black Music Month with Ksam in the studio, right here in our area, one of the up and coming artists. And I'm using that term lightly, only because I know that you've been doing this for quite some time, but you're also an entrepreneur in the music business. You have an online radio station, you're producing music, and you're performing and writing music.
Yes.
So you's a busy guy.
Yes. Yes.
You's a busy guy.
Shout
But we
out
were
to my
talking.
wife.
Yes, I was going to say, can you tell your wife a little something other than, honey, I'll be home in about 25 minutes?
Oh man, my baby, I love my darling to death. I love my baby. She's been with me 100%. She used to make phone calls, wake up at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, make phone calls all the way across the country or across the world to see if they make sure they playing the music. That's just my baby. That's my baby. Before God told me that's who I'm supposed to be with. Oh, the women before that, no disrespect to them, because I don't know disrespect the women that they're beautiful, but being with an artist that likes to work and is very passionate and about his work, it takes a special woman.
Yeah, I would believe that. Yes,
it takes a special woman. It takes a special woman. I tell you like this: it's been times where I wanted to say, "Man, forget it, I'm done." And I did a song. I did a song about that too. It's on my album. It's gonna be on my album. It's called "God Chose Us," and
that's a nice title.
Oh, he did. He chose us. He chose us. And the thing, I was born May 4th, and she was born May 5th.
Wow, so two Taurians.
Yes.
Woo! That's an exciting household.
Ooh,
boy.
It's a lot of fun though.
Oh yeah.
My goodness. Oh,
yeah, but there's also a lot of love.
Oh yes.
There's a lot of love.
Loyalty. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
A lot of love. A lot of safety, a lot of protection. Some of my best people on the planet who I love dearly are Taurians. And so I have experienced both sides of that. Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
If you fuss, it's for a reason.
Oh yeah.
It's for a reason. And the protection and the good food and the jokes. All of that.
Oh yeah. That's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, but we serious. And
how long have you all been together?
12 years. 12 years. 12 years and 12 beautiful years. I tell you this, it's been rough. Oh, it's been rough. It's been rough, but we stuck it out.
Mm,
We stuck it out. I ain't talking about no cheating or nothing like that.
yeah.
I'm just saying for life itself, financially, you know,
I was gonna say just the fact of being with an artist, it's not easy. As
yeah.
I was telling you previously, is why I told my daughter no DJs.
If my daughter come with an artist,
How would you feel about that?
you know what? I was finna say I'll be cool with it, but it hit me as soon as I opened my mouth about it. I'm like, I gotta think about that. I gotta think about that. Oh no, because my wife deal with a lot. My
Yeah.
wife deal with a lot, and I would imagine my daughter calling me and saying, "Daddy, this remind me of you."
Or why didn't you tell me?
Yeah,
Why
I'm
didn't you
like,
tell
well,
me?
I'm like, baby, you gotta follow your heart. I'll be a daddy blocker or something. I don't know if I told you not to. I don't know.
Well, when the time comes, you'll know.
Yeah,
When the
yeah,
time
yeah.
comes, you'll know.
My oldest two doing good though, so they're not with musicians, far as I know of.
So that makes all the difference.
Far as I know of, I don't know. They do hair, they got their own beautician, and they do makeup. They beautiful. They do their thing. One do art, paint, and she's beautiful. She does good
So you
work.
got
All of them.
creatives in the family.
Yes, yes, yes. And speaking of creativity, my 4-year-old, you talking about the Michael
Mm,
Jackson? The Michael Jackson?
really?
Ooh, this boy here. He know Michael Jackson songs that I never heard of.
Really? So he's a fan. He's a true fan.
If he was here right now, just by me mentioning that he loves Michael Jackson, he'll start doing it and singing the
So
words.
how do you pick up on that? Did he watch videos or was he you? Uh-huh. Okay.
And then my oldest boy, Amari, he was doing the same thing.
So he
So
followed his big brother.
yeah, because his big brother followed his daddy. So and
Hmm.
then it didn't help that his mama liked Michael Jackson too. So
So y'all just a Michael Jackson household.
that's
Just Mike all the way.
yeah. And I did a song one time. I did a song of a sample with Michael Jackson sample, and
Uh-huh.
they never heard it before. So when they finally heard the original song, they looked at me, Daddy, they stole your song. I'm like, no, they ain't steal my song. I took that song.
That's funny.
Yeah,
That's
so
funny.
yeah,
That's funny. And
yeah.
speaking of songs,
Yes, ma'am.
WSME has been playing Need a Word.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So give us some background on that song and how it came together.
Need a Word was produced by Tone Jones. Um, and I'm a big fan of his. And when I heard that song, when I heard that track, instantly, well, at that moment, I was in a little down moment. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the studio. I'm like, why are you feeling down at the time? You got your own studio, this and that, da da da.
Right.
And I was feeling a little down at the time, and I was talking to a friend of mine back at the house. He was going through it, and I was a big fan I'm a big fan of Alicia Keys, and I was watching the video of Alicia Keys and that new song she came out, 3 Hour
Mm-hmm.
Drive.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow. And the song just started coming into my head. And when I heard the track of Tone Jones, I was like, I just need a word right now. And the words just came
Now did
out and I
that
answered in the booth.
now did that come instantly? Did you walk into the studio and think in the booth, I know exactly what I'm gonna say? Because
Yeah,
I know exactly the message I want to get across.
yeah, 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 instantaneously. Instantaneously. I tell you, I can reenact it because I'm sitting in the same chair. I came through that door and I sat here and I put on the music. And I remember I had my pad already sitting here because it's always usually sitting here while I'm working.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I always have it sitting out, and I was just sitting here. I remember I was just sitting here, like just listening to it, and I just started writing. It was right. And I remember this for a fact. My wife called me. My wife called me. She says, "Baby, how long you gonna be?" I said, "Baby, give me about 30 minutes or so." She said, "Okay." I can hear my son in the back, like, "Daddy, I want you." I remember this. I'll be home about 30 minutes, baby. Give me 30 minutes. I went back to start writing. Next thing I know, Michelle, I was in that booth.
Wow.
I was in that booth. And when I was done with it, I called Sam, CEO of the company. I said, "You sleep?" I said, "I just did a song. You got to hear it. You got to hear it." So I let him hear it. He was like, "Wow, I got to hear it in the morning." So I emailed it to him. But my wife called me. She said, 30 minutes, huh? I said, "Baby, you got to hear this song." She said, "Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm." She said, "Mm-hmm, okay." I said, "I'm on the way home now, baby." That I'm on the way home now. I sat right here and listened to that thing for another 5 to 6 more minutes.
I was getting ready to say, how long did it take before
That
you
took a
walked
little.
out the
That took a little
studio?
minute. That took a little minute. It took a little minute. It took a little minute. But that song, it hit me then. But the way people are reacting to it now, I didn't expect.
Mm.
I really didn't expect. I'll be honest with you, I'm still surprised on how people react to my music
Why?
because people didn't used to. You know what I mean? In my earlier career doing music, I used to do music. It was kind of like deep, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and doing deep music at that time was popular. I was trying to get signed to a label. So people really wasn't feeling my music. So my manager at that time told me, "Hey, just do what the industry doing so you can get in." And I did that. People felt a little bit, but they still really wasn't feeling my music.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I
And
switched over to
were you into it?
mm-hmm,
You were into it,
mm-hmm,
but not like you are with this, right?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I wasn't. I was more into doing more deep feelings, conscious music. I was
Mm-hmm.
more into doing that, making
Yeah.
you think. Yeah, and
Okay.
and I and God knew that. So what He did was, but I was good at doing. How can we say it? Booty shaking music.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I was good at
Mm-hmm.
doing that, but I like doing conscious music. So I guess over time He put all that together and said, "No, you're gonna do this music for me, but you're gonna do it in the style."
That
you
I'm
know
giving you.
exactly. So, and I love it. I really do. I really do. I love it though. But I don't know.
Well,
I can do a you know what? I can do a feature. I hope I ain't taking your time up because
no,
I don't want your man to be, what's his name? I forgot his
you're
name
good.
again.
Doc P.
Okay. Doc. Okay. Don't kill me.
Now we got we
But
got we got a few
you
more
got time?
minutes. You're
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Okay. I remember doing when I first started doing gospel music, um, I would go in other studios and do music for other artists that wasn't doing gospel music.
Mm-hmm.
And they used to wonder how I was gonna make that work. Okay, you do you. But when it come up time for me to do my verse, I'm gonna take your same topic and I'm gonna do it in God's way. And that's what I was doing. And they was loving it. They was like, "Wow, that's gospel." Yeah. You know, so while they were cursing on their verse and everything, but I was doing what I was doing on mine.
Right.
You know, so even to this day, I feature on somebody's stuff. You want me to feature on it? Cool. But you know what I do.
Right.
So don't be surprised on what I'm finna say. And it's gonna
And
cost
it
you because I'm
is
just
it
trying.
is gospel hip hop for
Right.
sure.
Yes. All day
There's
long.
no there's no two ways about it.
Mm.
The song Praise Him. There
Ooh.
was a line that struck me.
Talk to me.
Tell me how grace looks when I walk on the floor. I was like, oh, oh, oh.
Yeah.
What brought that about? That just like, that blew me away. Honestly, that blew me away because, people always talk about in gospel music, God giving us grace, God giving us mercy, but it's rare
Right.
that somebody describes themselves
Mm-hmm.
as actual grace. I am grace walking into a room. I'm like, I gotta remember that. I'm gonna be
You the
saying that.
first. You the first person to catch that.
I'm telling you, when I heard that, I had to run it back, and I was like, wait a minute, let me write that down because I think I heard, and then I read it again, and I'm like, wow, that
Yes.
says a lot.
Yes. It does. It struck me. See, this is what I was telling you about. I get excited about knowing the outcome of the song because I don't know what he's gonna give me to say.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I really don't know. You know, so to hear that word right there, that it hit me just like it hit you. When I go listen to it, still some of what
Uh-huh.
I'm like, ooh. It just make you fresh, just cringe, like, ooh.
But I told you, it brought out the whoa. I'm like, really? Okay, let me run that back because
Mm-hmm.
make sure I heard what I heard,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and that blew me away. And
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
so when it's just amazing to me that came through.
Me and you
That
both.
came through.
Me and you both.
Both surprised, right?
Me and you both. Because some people still ain't catch that. You know how songs go on for years, and it could be songs way back
Yeah,
in the 70s. You don't catch what they say until like, whoa,
yeah,
And I
yeah.
think that's gonna be one of those lines,
It,
because
it
to this day it still catch me. I'm like, because it's like when God catches you and He changes you,
uh-huh.
and you walk in the room, people notice that.
Yeah, yeah,
They really notice that. Tell me how Grace look.
yeah.
Really, tell
And
me. I
that's
want to know.
and that's, and I think that's the piece for me in looking at this line. I'm like, this is like, whoa, you know. So it definitely that was an eye opener for me. I gotta admit, it was an
I'm,
eye opener.
I'm glad you called that. I'm glad you asked me that. Oh, I'm glad you. Mm.
That one caught me.
If y'all didn't hear that, please go back and listen to the song because she just mentioned something that I thought no one would ever hear or catch. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're
Thank you
welcome.
so
I
much.
I was touched. That one touched me. So talk about the listening party.
Well,
It's Saturday,
of
and
nope.
nope.
Uh,
Okay,
Don't
I'm
get
listening.
mad. Don't get mad, y'all. But unfortunately, we had to reschedule my listening party.
Okay, so is it going to be soon or is it to be announced?
It's gonna be announced, but it's gonna be in late July.
Okay.
But it turned from a listening party to the release party.
Ah.
And I'm gonna
So,
be performing every song on the album with a live band by the name of Mulatto.
wow. And
Yes.
and and will it be in the same place
It will be at Smokey Joe's. Yes.
in Springfield?
Yes. In Springfield, Mass. Date will be announced, but it will be late in late June. I mean July.
So how many songs are you performing? How many songs are on the is it an do you consider it an EP or an LP?
15.
Wow.
That is an L.
Big L. Big L. Ain't no you know,
No, no. Ain't
it's the
nothing,
big
no.
L.
Yeah.
Big L.
15 songs.
It's capital
15 songs.
letter.
Oh yeah.
And
It's gonna be
so
doing
in doing 15 songs in one night,
something.
let me ask the question first of all, how long are the songs?
Let's see.
Or
We got
are we getting remixed versions from what we might hear on the LP?
no. You're gonna get these songs with the live
Okay.
version. You're gonna get the live
Okay.
version, but you're gonna get the song, the whole song. But we probably just be going from one to another. And cutting out and going in. We ain't gonna get the whole thing.
So
It
will there
depends
be
now. It depends. It depends. It depends. We might just be jerking and having a good time. Let's go. Just go with the whole thing.
just go. Just
I
go
ain't
with the
no
whole
telling.
thing, right?
I ain't no telling with Gary. You're the mulatto. I'm telling. He the drummer. I ain't no telling with him. He be like, let's go. Just go. Okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So we're gonna have some fun that night.
Well, that's great.
We're gonna have
Please
some fun
keep
that
us
night.
informed as to when the date is so we can post it.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
send me a flyer so I
Oh
can put
yeah.
it up on the collective page.
Oh yes. Oh
All
yes. You
right.
know I will. I'm definitely gonna send it to you. If you can come, please do.
Yeah. Hey, when I get the date, I'll let you know. How's that? That fair?
I got you. I'm gonna hold you to that too.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna
I'll
hold
bring
you.
Steve. Steve liked to drive.
Come
Stevie D
on.
likes to drive.
Come on,
So
Stevie D.
I
Come on.
get I get Stevie in the car and he will drive. So yeah,
Come on.
we'll roll through. We'll roll through.
Come
So
on. Let me know.
quickly, tell me about the record company and tell me about the radio station.
Well, the record company is called Spirit Life Entertainment Radio. I mean, Spirit Life Entertainment, which is a gospel radio, record label. We have 12 or 13. We're getting ready to sign another one. And it's international label. We have artists like right now, we have an artist named E Serve. He's in Hawaii. We have an artist from Jamaica called JC. Her name is JC German. Then we have Tangela Harrington, who's in Louisiana. We got,
All
diversity of
over.
people, all over, so hip hop singers. We have a comedian by the name of Nick Kellogg, which he's performing July 3rd at Smokey Joe's.
Okay.
So he's doing his big comedy debut of what he's doing. So and then also we have who else we have? We got Chauncey B, Schizo. We got a lot of people, great artists, and the thing about this, the artists up under our label, they're not just artists, they're songwriters, they're producers. The majority of them, they have their own studios, in their own homes, and we collab on a lot of things and make a lot of good music, So, and another great thing about it is God built this label
Mm.
because a lot of these artists was done. And when we came to them or they came to us, they say, listen, it's not about the money with me. It's about what God want me to do. And this is my passion. And we've been working ever since, so, and
That's
the
great.
radio, and here's another thing. The radio station is called Spirit Life Entertainment Radio, which we play our artists on our radio station. And some of the artists are the DJs.
Wow. That's great. That's great.
So they billing, not only that they playing their music and other people's music, they're building relationships, with their fan base. They build a relationship with other DJs,
Mm-hmm.
So if they decide they want to do their own, they have these relationships.
They can. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing about it. We help to build people here at Spirit Life, not bring them down. We're not selfish at all. What you need to be selfish with is God's word. Be selfish with that. Don't be selfish to yourself here on this earth, because that ain't how he wants you to be. You know what I'm saying? So we love it here at Spirit Life Entertainment Radio. We have a show on Spirit Life Entertainment Radio called Teen Talk, and it's hosted by two teens called Nick Carlott and Miss Savannah Carlott, and we getting it to the point where it's ran by teens, and it's hosted by teens. Everything is for teens. They do it. They run it. So, and that's going to be airing, I want to say, next 2.5, 3 weeks.
Okay.
2.5, 3 weeks, something like that. So I keep informed of that as well. So here at Spirit Life, we do a lot of things. We do quite a bit of things. It looks like I got a microphone coming from my headphone.
It's okay.
I feel like a head coach at the football game.
Well, you are the head coach.
Oh, yeah. No,
you are the head coach.
You finna get me in trouble. No, don't get me in trouble. Don't you get me in trouble. You know the head coach. He the head coach.
I know who the head coach is for real. But I'm saying, in what you're doing.
Don't you do it.
No.
Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
Okay. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
I got you.
I'm gonna send him over to you. I didn't say that. She did.
Now you're trying to get me in trouble.
I got enough to
listen. I got enough to speak for. Okay. I got enough to own up to. I don't need to get in any more trouble. I got that. I'm having these talks with Jesus all the time. Grace and mercy, thank you very much.
I'm trying to tell you, you trying to throw me under the bus. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. No, Michelle, don't you do it.
Ksam, how do people listen, reach out? What if somebody wants to get in touch with you and send you music, or want to be on the radio station? How do they get in touch with you?
You can go to Spirit Life Facebook or Instagram. You can go to Spirit Life ENT.
Okay.
And you can inbox me there, or you can go to my page. I am Ksam Music on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and all of that. Excuse me. And inbox me on that. Or you can just go to spiritlifeent.com.
Okay.
Leave a message there.
And with less than 30 seconds,
what's
the message you want to get out to people? What do you want them to know?
Keep God first. That's number one. Literally, keep him first. And never give up on your dream. Never. I don't care if you got to take a break to take care of your children, but go back to pursuing your dream. I'm 40-something years old. I ain't gonna tell y'all how old, but I'm 40-something years old. And I love my age, and I love what's going on, and I'm living my dream because I decided not to give up on my dream. But I kept God first to make that happen. So don't give up. Oh, and don't make your children your excuse for you giving up on your dream. Because if you give up on yours, you have no right to tell them not to give up on theirs. I'm just saying.
You heard it first, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it from Ksam. Wise words.
I love y'all though.
Ksam, Spirit Life Entertainment.
Yes.
Spirit Life Entertainment Radio. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate your time, your energy. Go home.
I can't. I got work to do. My wife called me already. The one we was calling. I can't. I
It
ain't gonna
was
do
a
it.
pleasure to have you on. I really appreciate it. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for being my first artist for Black Music Month.
Oh,
Really
thank you so
appreciate
much.
it.
Thank you so much
Really
for having me.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I had a
And,
good time.
and folks can hear this again Sunday on WSME Enlightenment Radio at 6 p.m. Okay?
Yes,
So,
yes.
all of you folks that have listened to the collective this evening, this is an exclusive for you for Black Music Month. I'm Michelle Turner, and this has been the collective. Thank you.